Hi everyone, my name's Anna Perrett and I work for Kyra Women's Project. I'm the project manager there for our Route to Recovery project, which I will talk about in a little while. Can everybody in the room hear me okay? Is that? I will, sorry. So what I'm going to do is just talk to you about what Kyra Women Project do, how long we've been established now, and then give you a bit more insight into sort of how we work with women and support them to make change. Slide to our next one, if it will work. Oh, I'm having no luck on one. Is it going to do it? There we go. Lovely. So, at Kyra, our mission statement is to support women in York and the surrounding area to change their lives for the better by providing a holistic, non-medical approach to support and empower women to make positive change in a safe, woman-only environment. And I was reminded while chatting with Sue earlier to make clear that we are inclusive of all women, so trans women are included as well at Kyra. If anybody is non-binary, if they're more gender fluid, we're not the right place for them, but as long as you identify as a woman, then you can come to Kyra. So I'll tell you a little bit more about us. So Kyra's in our 10th year this year, so we'll be celebrating our 10th birthday on the 14th of November. So we've got lots of things planned, so please do look out for them in case anybody wants to come along. We're hoping to do some really high profile events and make sure everybody knows what we do, as it's not very obvious with it being a woman's name, what the charity's aims are and who we're helping. So all of the services that we offer, they're women-led. We call the women who use our service members. This was really important to us rather than being service users or clients in any way, because it changes that relationship. You know, it's their project, the women who come, they sort of tell us what they want to do, what sort of different courses, activities they'd like to see, and we try and find volunteers with the skills and experience to put them on for them. We have around 1,000 women on our member database. At its peak, it's a little bit fluid. We usually enroll about 30 new members every month, so people come and go, but we don't time limit, so we do find some members will stay on our database for several years at a time. So people can come and go as they choose. Nothing's time limited. They can just pop up if we've got a new course after a gap of a few years in some cases. We currently support up to 200 members a week, so on average we are seeing sort of about 180 women coming through. Busier times when we've got more courses, it can go beyond the 200 mark. Our work is really focused on building well-being, resilience and self-confidence through a range of courses, programmes and other activities. We offer various therapeutic interventions, things like counselling sessions, alongside courses on more wellbeing focused, things like meditation, mindfulness, more practical skills like IT, cookery, and then we have courses that are a little bit more about how we sort of think and feel about ourselves, on self-confidence, on self-esteem, assertiveness, and how to manage anxiety. So there are lots of practical skills for changing our behaviours and making that positive change in our lives. And we offer a pathway to other helping organisations in York and routes back to engaging in community life by offering that safe space and helping women grow their confidence and taking part in group activities elsewhere. So, I'm going the wrong way now, apologies. A little bit more about what we do. Our approach is not referral based. Professionals can signpost women to us, but we always ask that the woman makes the approach herself, books an appointment with us, because it's important to us that she wants to be there. I think sometimes you can come across support workers who, for the right reasons, want women to engage with services, but it might not be the right time, and we want their first experience with us to be a positive one. So we do say, pass on our number, pass on our email address, send women to our website, but make the first approach themselves. It's important to us that they do that. Our access at the moment is poor. We do have stairs to our premises, but we are trying to put on more downstairs accessible activities for women whose mobility might cause them issues. So we've got a selection of different workshops that are going to be running to the end of the year, and we do an accessible drop-in once a month downstairs too. So if that is a concern, please do call us. We'll do our best to try and let you know what we can do that is more accessible. On the facilities, we don't have any children. It is very much women only. We don't have the training with our volunteers. We're not DBS checked. We don't have the insurance for having children on site. It comes with a lot of additional responsibilities, doesn't it? Providing childcare, And it can be distressing for some of the women who maybe have had children and sort of lost children, had children taken into care, which is why we like to keep the focus on the woman, because there are very few spaces where the focus is all on the woman. Quite often they're seen in relation to sort of the other roles in their lives. And we're a recovery service, not a crisis service, so we are very clear to signpost all our members onto those crisis services if they need them and make sure they get the appropriate help elsewhere. Who's who in Kyra? We've got our patron, Dame Penelope Wilton, who always tries to come to one of our events every year. She's been absolutely fabulous with our members and volunteers, and she does always try to make sure she spends time speaking to each and every one of them. She'll go into the kitchen to chat with volunteers who've been washing up. She makes sure she sees everybody, and she does make sure she has a personal word with each and every one of the members at these events, so we're really grateful to have her. Our chair at the moment is Nicola Winter, and she works for Aviva, I believe, in IT. And Yvonne Copley was recently awarded the MBE for founding Kyra. She set up Kyra about 10 years ago because she was working in the prison service, and she found women had often come to the end of targeted sort of specialist support and then would have almost a door close on them and say, okay, you've done your sort of 12 weeks, however long it's been, off you go, keep up these behaviours by yourself. So she wanted Kyra to be a place where you can take those next steps and continue receiving that support. Lovely. And the next slide is all about why women are coming to us. So research that we undertake with our members has shown that 49% wanted to increase their self-esteem, 41% wanted to reduce isolation, 35% wanted to develop new skills, 45% wanted to improve well-being, and 49% wanted to feel better emotionally. So the services that we design are all to meet those needs, which are quite broad and wide-ranging. And on our next slide, there are 4 different categories of how we help women. So first one that we do, which is probably the most vital, is reducing isolation. So we offer weekly drop-ins, we offer phone calls, craft group, walking group, and recovery sessions. So they're all about just making sure there are places for women to come and be around others and sort of build their confidence, socialising with others. Next sort of set that we offer are more specific issue-based. So we run 2 different courses helping women recover from domestic abuse. One of those IDAS come in and deliver for us, as they're the local specialist charity who have the advisors that we signpost women onto. We have a course on self-esteem, another on anxiety. We offer counselling sessions for women, and we have money advice services from the Peace Zone charity. So we have advisors who come in and do one-to-one sessions for that. We can refer our members to a solicitor for legal advice. And we also do bereavement and loss groups as well. Then the other 2 ones that we've got are around exploring and expressing our feelings. So we offer singing groups, poetry, we do art and craft, drama, therapeutic writing, mindfulness and meditation. And the final things around building confidence. So we have coaches who come in. At the moment we do one-to-one coaching, and we're just about to start a group coaching course. We do preparation for employment and sort of support women who are economically inactive. We offer assertiveness training. We've done self-defence courses, and we also have a young women's group that is designed at sort of building their confidence and reducing their isolation. And we have a few projects to go through. So Route to Recovery is the project that I manage at Kyra. That one is designed for offering a little bit of additional support for women who've either struggled with poor mental health or have experienced domestic abuse, the ones who might find it a little bit harder to get started and to come along and attend things at Kyra. So I'm there just to try and make it as easy a process as possible, help them get signed up for things and encourage them to keep on going if they're struggling with other commitments. We have a project called Rise, which is about reducing inequalities and supporting employment. So that's encouraging women who are economically inactive back into the workplace. We do lots of confidence building as well as the more practical interview skills, CV writing type support for them. We have ambassadors, so we've been approaching businesses in the city to ask them to be ambassadors for Kyra, to display information about us, to make sure that they keep us in mind, placing things like posters in toilets, just so that women can find us as with a name like Kyra. It's not instantly obvious what we do, so it's important that we do as much outreach as possible. We've got a new project called the Pathways Project, which is all about trying to make it as easy for women to figure out what they want to do at Kyra as possible. So We enroll people at the moment and we give them a newsletter full of all the different activities we do, but it's not always obvious which order to maybe do them in and what might help with specific issues. So we're designing now some pathways to just give a little bit of additional sort of guidance on this follows that quite nicely so that women know what to sign up for in what order. And the final one we've got at the moment is our Rose project, which is about reaching out, supporting and empowering, and that is for young women aged 18 to 25, as we find that more of our members are within the sort of 30 to 44 category. So young women were sometimes finding that they didn't always have as much in common in some of the groups that they came to. In terms of what women get from us, we've got a few quotes here. One said, "I can see a huge difference in my mental health. Now I don't feel sad, I feel happier. I try to enjoy the little things too. It doesn't matter if good things are big or small, I'm enjoying everything again." Next one, "Before Kyra, I've been housebound. I had no self-confidence. I felt like I struggled with communication. And now I'm no longer housebound. They have helped me myself, but also helped myself and my boys as a unit." The final one is, "Kyra is absolutely awesome. I was very lonely when I first started coming here. I like being part of something and being able to socialise. Gives me a reason to get out of bed. It's improved my self-confidence, made me more open-minded, taught me awesome skills. If it wasn't for Kyra, I would be depressed, lonely, and would feel abandoned." So it's really important to us that we're always gathering that feedback and trying to sort of adapt what we do to meet the needs of the women that we work with. So I'm just going to talk quickly about our counselling services. So we currently have 10 counsellors and 3 who are in advanced training who are going to be supporting us while they're on that journey and studying. We usually support around 180 women a year. That's 1,080 hours of counselling, as we offer 10 one-hour-long sessions, which is £29,000 worth of professional counselling that we're offering for free. So it's a really vital service, and quite a lot of the women that come to us, it is counselling that a GP might have mentioned that will benefit them. So part of our job with doing these sort of other projects is to say if we've got lots of other things, we're not just a counselling service, and try to encourage them to do groups that might help them explore what they've discovered in counselling too. So on average, we do find we ask women about their confidence, their self-esteem, their ability to get on with everyday tasks and their mood. And usually the scores are about doubling. So we're going from scores that are usually sort of about 3.5 to sort of 4 out of 7. So 4 is the average. They're usually in that just below average kind of category for all those scores, and they're going up to almost 7, 8 in some cases. So they are really increasing. So apologies that the actual graphs weren't displaying for everybody then. So we do see really good results with our counselling, and obviously the team are really welcoming. They do their best to make sure that they sort of match the needs of the woman to the expertise of the counsellor. And I'll just talk about a couple of our specific groups now. So one is our Rose group, the Reaching Out, Supporting and Empowering one, which is women aged 18 to 25. They're running about 100 plus sessions a year. They work with usually about 20 young women who are at that crucial stage of life. Some of the issues that they've been tackling are anxiety, isolation, abuse, eating disorders, neurodiversity. Some of the women that are coming to us, they're not really engaging with any other support elsewhere. Quite often a parent or a guardian will come with them sort of to support them to get started, and then they'll sort of keep coming themselves afterwards. But it's been a really sort of supportive group for those young women. They stay in touch via WhatsApp outside of those sessions, and they are doing that peer support as well as having those sort of sessions that are designed by us for them, which is ideally what we want, because it's all about making those connections rather than being dependent on coming to Kyra in the long term. And we've got a quote here from one of those Rose members saying, "I've never felt like I fit in anywhere and always felt like an outcast, but Rose is a place where I feel safe and have made so many friends from it, thanks to you. I really cannot thank you enough, and myself and my family are so grateful that it's a continuous place I can go to get support when I feel lost or just need a chat." So I think we've got a photo of some of our Rose group members there with some of the craftsmen that they've made. So Sherry is just on the left of that picture who runs that Rose group, and she's an absolutely lovely, bubbly person. So I think she's got the really sort of right energy for that young women's group. And one of our other projects, because obviously, as I mentioned earlier, bulk of our members are between sort of about 30 and 44. We have done, in the past, we've done menopause courses, but one of the programs that we did put together that we were really proud of was the Time of Our Life program, which was for women aged over 50. We don't have them in this at the moment, so we are trying to bring this back. And we developed an 8-week course that was all about reducing isolation, improving well-being. So it included creative activities, discussions about nutrition, exercise, so sort of gentle exercises, things that were adaptable to sort of boost balance and sort of increase sort of joint strength, lots of well-being and self-care. So we did some of the content from different courses that we do on things like assertiveness and self-esteem were adapted to go into this to sort of encourage women to place boundaries in their life and to sort of make the right decisions for them and feel a bit more confident about saying no when they needed to, because their time and energy is very precious, isn't it? So when we asked women what they enjoyed most about the Time of Our Life programme, one of them had put learning to care for myself, listening to my body and putting myself at the top of the list, which I think summed up what the aims of that programme were quite nicely. So it's something that we're hoping to offer again in the future, that one. And how does all of this happen? So we've got lots of logos coming up for you on our next slide. We've got a brilliant bid writer who will get in touch with anyone and everyone and ask for money. We've got some larger pots of money. So the National Lottery have funded the Root Recovery project that I work on, for example. We've got Gaffer Western Foundation have funded us a couple of times in the past. Our Pathways project is been funded by the Police and Crime Commissioner. York Rotary chose us as one of their main beneficiaries from the Dragon Boat race this year, which we're really grateful for. So we do a big mix of going out and sort of having that tin available to put your money in different fundraising events, but also we do go out and seek those grants to try and keep those different projects and activities running at Kyra. So here's a few pictures from some of our fundraising activities. So we've got dragon boat races, various stalls. I think that's one of our trustees at the York 10K there. We had a member who made masks during lockdown, so she found some lovely blue butterfly very well themed for Kyra, as that's our logo. So she made masks that we could sell. So members are always encouraged, if they want to do anything that is fundraising related, we'll support them as much as we can for them to do that, and then they feel they're giving to the project as well as receiving that support, which is really important for them and for us. And we also encourage people to become friends of Kyra, so we're asking them to sort of give regularly. We'll receive a bit more information about what we do at Kyra. We invite them to all of our events, especially this year while we've been doing the 10th anniversary one. We've had quite a lot more events running than we normally would, and they get discounts on those paid events and activities. So if they've ever got sort of ticketed events, we will do discounts for our friends of Kyra as well. And most important resource we have is our volunteers. So we've got a few photos of our lovely volunteers. We've got a mix of different ages and experience, from volunteer counsellors who are sort of studying to students at both the university in York that come and do placements with us, women who are retired, women who just want to give back. We have some volunteers who are in full-time employment, but their employers give them so many hours a year to volunteer, so they'll come in and run courses over those hours. So at the moment, we've got around 45 active volunteers. We've got a volunteer coordinator who she supports them in sort of making sure they're doing the activities that they want to, that it helps us keep the service running. She offers lots of training, induction, and we have lots of development opportunities. And we do lots of social things for them too. It's not just about coming in and putting everybody to work, it's also about us enjoying spending time together. So we do have a book club and we run social activities as well. We have 78 hours of volunteering given in an average week, which equates to about 4,000 hours over the year. And we worked out if they were paid at the real living wage, that would equate to over £43,500 worth of work that they're providing free to Kyra, which is absolutely phenomenal. It saves us a lot of effort in fundraising if volunteers are giving us so many hours. So we are always really grateful for anybody who's interested in doing that with us. Latest news for Kyra is we have got a new chair and vice chair, both called Nicola, so it should be easier for us to remember if we're speaking to Nicola as the chair. So they are working closely together to sort of make sure that handover is very smooth. I mentioned earlier we're in our 10th anniversary year, so we've been lucky to have a full-time member of staff funded to run our events and fundraising activities for the year. And she's been brilliant at sort of coming up with different things, getting them advertised, and we have got lots of different opportunities for you to come along and get involved if you'd like to, whether it's coming to big dinners or we've done Kaylee's, just different fundraising activities. We've encouraged people to do races, 10Ks and York Marathons as well. We've got a team in. And our RISE project is our latest project, which is that one that is all around helping women into employment. Fabulous. So I'm going to end there and let you ask any questions, as it's lots of talking from me. So do you want to